The summons came at midnight. Cadet Elena Voss stood in the royal war chamber, still wearing her academy uniform, staring at Queen Victoria Cross herself. The queen's face was carved from stone and exhaustion. 72 hours, the queen said. That's all we have before the Draxion fleet reaches our borders. 12 species have fallen to them. We're next unless you find something my generals cannot. Elena's hands trembled. She was 19 years old. Your Majesty, I'm just a cadet. Surely the weapons division has failed. The queen gestured to a holographic display showing Draxion soldiers marching through burning cities. Their armor gleamed like dark mirrors, absorbing weapon fire without a scratch. Phase iron armor. Unbreakable. Every scientist, every military mind, every desperate attempt has failed to crack it. You have 72 hours to do the impossible, or humanity dies. Dismissed. She went straight to Lab 7, where a captured Draxion soldier stood motionless in a containment field, its armor intact despite being hit by every weapon in humanity's arsenal. The armor was beautiful in a terrible way, smooth and seamless, dark as deep space with veins of silver running through it like frozen lightning. She ran her fingers along the surface, feeling it hum with a strange energy. Her supervising officer, Dr. Raymond Cole, watched with undisguised skepticism. Don't waste time, Voss. We've already tried everything. Plasma cutters, molecular acid, kinetic hammers, electromagnetic pulses, nothing works. What about sound? Elena asked. Cole laughed. Sound? You think we can break phase iron with noise? Get serious, or get out. Elena ignored him. She requisitioned an acoustic analyzer and struck the armor with a calibrated hammer. The readout showed a specific vibration frequency, a resonance that traveled through the material in waves. She struck it again, harder, and the frequency remained constant. It's singing, she whispered. It's humming because you hit it, Cole said. That proves nothing. But Elena saw something he didn't. The armor wasn't just vibrating randomly. The frequency was precise, controlled, maintaining itself even after the impact stopped. That meant the molecular structure was aligned, probably locked in a specific pattern that distributed force evenly across the entire surface. Any attack would be absorbed and dispersed. No wonder nothing could break it. She spent the next 18 hours under an electron microscope, mapping the crystalline structure of armor fragments. The patterns were breathtaking, geometric perfection on a microscopic scale. Each molecule linked to its neighbors in a lattice so tight that conventional physics said it shouldn't exist. But there, in the spaces between bonds, she saw the weakness. Everything that holds together can be pulled apart if you know the frequency. Elena's concept was simple in theory, devastating in practice. Instead of trying to break the armor through force, she would use harmonic resonance to destabilize the molecular bonds. A counter-frequency pulse, sustained for just a few seconds, would disrupt the lattice alignment. Once disrupted, the armor would become brittle, vulnerable to conventional weapons. She built the first prototype in 36 hours, a handheld device that looked like a pistol crossed with a tuning fork. The power cells were the problem. The resonance emitter drained energy too fast. She could get maybe 5 seconds of output before the device died. 5 seconds, she muttered, running calculations. 5 seconds to shatter invincibility. She tested it on an armor fragment at hour 48. The device hummed, the fragment vibrated, and hairline fractures appeared across its surface. Then she hit it with a standard kinetic round. The fragment exploded into dust. Cole stood silent, staring at the wreckage. Get the queen, Elena said. By hour 60, Elena had redesigned the weapon into a 2-stage system. 3 seconds of resonance exposure, followed immediately by a kinetic round fired from the same device. The armor would fracture internally from the resonance, then shatter completely from the bullet. Elegant, deadly, human. Queen Victoria Cross watched the demonstration personally. A full armor plate, certified unbreakable by Draxion standards, disintegrated under Elena's weapon. The silence in the lab was absolute. How many can you build? The queen asked. In 12 hours? Maybe 200 if we use every fabricator in the capital. Do it, And Voss, you're coming with us to the front lines. If this fails, I want you there to fix it." Elena hadn't expected that. "Your Majesty, I'm not a soldier. You are now." The Draxion fleet arrived early. 6 massive warships dropped out of hyperspace 8 hours ahead of schedule, deploying drop pods before humanity's defensive fleet could fully engage. Elena stood in the drop bay of the human carrier Defiant, surrounded by Marines checking their weapons. She wore combat armor that felt too heavy, too real. In her hands was prototype weapon number 1, the first of its kind. Lieutenant Marcus Green, squad leader, gave her a hard look. "Stay behind us, keep your head down, and if things go bad, run. Understood, Cadet?" "Understood," Elena lied. The drop was violent. Their pod hit dirt in the middle of a war zone, a human colony city already half destroyed by Draxion bombardment. Elena stumbled out into smoke and fire, her weapon clutched tight. Ahead, Draxion soldiers advanced in formation, their phase-wine armor shrugging off railgun fire like rain. "Resonance weapons, up front!" Green shouted. 3-second exposure, then fire! The Marines moved with practiced precision. 20 soldiers raised Elena's weapons, aiming at the approaching Draxion line. The devices hummed in unison, a chorus of controlled frequencies. The Draxion. Soldiers hesitated, their armor beginning to vibrate visibly. Then the Marines fired. Phase iron armor shattered. Draxion soldiers fell, their invincibility torn away in seconds. The human line surged forward, pressing the advantage. Elena felt a surge of hope. It lasted 30 seconds. The Draxion forces adapted. They spread out, breaking formation, preventing multiple resonance weapons from targeting the same soldiers. Their return fire intensified, plasma bolts cutting through human cover. The Marines fell back, trading ground for survival. Elena's mind raced. The weapons worked, but not fast enough, not efficiently enough. The Draxion were learning, and humanity was dying. She grabbed Green's arm. "We need to network the devices. Create a resonance field instead of individual targeting. Can you do that?" "I don't know. But if we don't try, we lose anyway." They retreated to a defensive position in a collapsed building. Elena pulled apart 3 weapons, rerouting their emitter arrays, linking their power cells through hastily soldered connections. Her hands shook as plasma fire struck the walls around them. "Voss! They're coming!" a Marine shouted. She didn't look up. 2 more connections. 1 more calibration. The Draxion heavy assault unit rounded the corner, 6 soldiers in enhanced armor, weapons charged. "Now or never, Cadet," Green said. Elena activated the modified array. The 3 linked weapons blazed to life, their combined output creating a resonance field that expanded outward in a sphere. The Draxion soldiers stepped into it, and their armor began to scream. "Everyone fire!" Elena shouted. 20 Marines opened up with conventional weapons. The Draxion armor, weakened uniformly across all 6 soldiers by the resonance field, fractured and collapsed. The heavy assault unit fell in seconds. "It works," Green breathed. "It actually works." Elena was already moving. "We need every weapon networked, now, before they adapt again." The battle became a race. Elena ran from position to position, linking resonance weapons into networked arrays, creating overlapping fields of molecular disruption. The Draxion advance slowed, then stopped, then reversed. For the first time in the war, human soldiers pushed forward against phase iron armor, and won. In orbit, the human fleet capitalized on the ground victory, targeting Draxion warships whose own hull armor began showing the same crystalline structure as soldier armor. Resonance torpedoes, hastily modified from Elena's schematics, turned invincible warships into debris. The Draxion Empire's supreme commander watched 12 species worth of conquest crumble in a single day. Humanity had done what no other race could. They found the crack in perfection. The surrender came 8 hours later. Elena stood in the ruins of the colony city, covered in dust and blood, holding a weapon that had changed the course of galactic history. Queen Victoria Cross arrived by shuttle, stepping through the wreckage to stand before the exhausted cadet. "You saved us all," the Queen said simply. Elena looked at the bodies, human and Draxion both. scattered across the battlefield. Victory felt heavier than she'd imagined. "I just listened, Your Majesty. Everything sings if you know how to hear it. Even armor, even empires." The Queen smiled, tired but genuine. "Then perhaps you can teach us to listen better, Admiral Voss." Elena blinked. "What?" "Humanity needs leaders who think differently, who see solutions where others see impossibilities. You've earned this." Around them, Marines began to cheer. The sound echoed through the ruins, a chorus of survival, of defiance, of humanity refusing to kneel. Elena felt tears on her face and didn't wipe them away. She was 19 years old. She had shattered the Unbreakable. And somewhere in the depths of space, 12 species heard the same message. Humanity had arrived, and they would not be conquered. The real work was just beginning. Elena looked up at the stars, where Draxion ships limped toward neutral space, and human vessels claimed the void. She thought about resonance, about frequencies, about how everything strong had a weakness if you were willing to listen. She thought about a queen who gambled everything on a cadet with an unconventional idea, and she smiled, because humanity had just learned the most important lesson of all. Invincibility is an illusion, and the universe belongs to those clever enough to shatter it.